Everybody who incites violence.
Now look at the difference.
Everybody.
No, but look at the difference.
Everybody. If he's done those things,
look at the difference.
you say that he's done.
You're not harsh with her,
Hold on a second.
but you're harsh with
And
your
he
mum.
incites hatred and he incites violence.
Your mum is not as bad as
her.
her.
Now go away. Now go away. Okay. You're done. You're done. Go away.
But I'm just trying to correct her.
No, but what I'm saying is this. No, but what I'm saying is, you are harsh to your mum, but not harsh to her.
Sister, just ignore her. It's better to do that.
You give her tolerance. You give her tolerance, but you didn't give your mum tolerance.
Because I care about my mom. I don't care what is gonna. I care about one certain extent what is gonna happen to her when she dies. But my mom is like my mom, the one that gave me like birth to this heart. I know it's through Allah. It's a way. It's a tool that Allah used. My mom.
Steve, you're just full of hate.
I care a lot about my mom.
You just need to calm down. You really do.
I'm not being
Just take a chill pill. Your rhetoric.
But my advice to you, my advice for you is just have patience with your parents. Just have patience with your parents. Your mum. Be kind, courteous.
I don't want to engage with you because it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. No, it's a waste of time. Yes, they're better than us. That's right. Is that what you? Okay, fine. Go away then. Okay, fine. Okay, go away.
I need to let her speak. I don't need to correct her.
No, you're just being irritant.
Initially, no.
Irritation.
Be a good daughter. And ask her why she believes what she believes. Why she's so sure.
A lot more.
Because just because you're born in a certain place and you're brought up in a certain way doesn't make what that belief true. Doesn't make that true.
Well, sometimes it's better not to.
Huh?
As it's written in the Quran as well. Some people they believe what they believe because they born like they.
But where you're born is not a definition of what's true, is it?
No. But as it's written in Islam,
It's better.
as it's written in Islam, some people they believe what they believe just because they parents and
Yeah. That's what I'm saying to you. And which country are you from? Don't mind asking.
Sorry,
Which country are you from?
I'm from Italy.
Italy, you're Catholic,
it's
isn't
like,
it?
there's not even a lot of information about Islam, or there's wrong information about Islam.
Yeah.
Because we have Vatican and they don't want Islam to be spread. You know?
Yeah.
So it's even more like they see like Muslim people even more like as enemies.
Yeah.
So it's even harsher.
But like I said, my advice to you is don't rush it. Have patience with your mum. Be a good daughter. And inshallah, look, we all have fitrah, right? And the fitrah gets clouded of knowing what the truth is. Now, sometimes the intellect might become unclouded, but the desires and the heart might not accept it. So I'm going to give you an example of that, a prime example of that. When I first became convinced Islam was true, I didn't take my shahada. So what had happened, my mind was unlocked. My mind believed Islam was true. But my desires, I don't want to stop doing this. I don't want to have to leave this. I don't want to, do you understand?
To me, it happened the same.
Right. So my desires didn't want to give up the dunya. Yeah? Didn't want to give up enjoying itself, doing what it wanted to do. Even though my mind is saying, but this is true.
Makes sense.
My desires are like, I'm not having it. Then what happens? I nearly had a car crash. Well, I did have a car crash. And what happened was, my mind said to my nafs, now what? What happens if we'd have died now? Where's all your things? And it was at that point my nafs went, actually, you know what, you might be right. And it was at that point my nafs were ready to let go. Nearly. What pushed them over the edge, like I said to you, my friend said, look, we live in England. You need somewhere to stay and you need an income. Me embracing Islam, and this happens to a lot of people who embrace Islam, me embracing Islam was going to cost me my home. Because I was going to have to split with my girlfriend, I was living with her, I'd have to move out, where am I going to bloody live? First thing. Second thing, my income was coming from my finance business. So how am I going to how am I going to support where I'm going to live? How am I going to pay my way? So I can't do it yet until those things are settled, yeah? So my nafs, my brain's ready, but my nafs is saying we're not ready yet because what are we going to do? Then what happened? My friend said, I'll give you somewhere to stay. Killed one situation. He said, my brother will give you a job. That's it, done. That was the only thing stopping me. Imagine.
everything in place.
Allahu Akbar. Imagine that. The two things stopping me embracing Islam was not convincing me Allah exists, not telling me the Quran is true, not telling me Muhammad is a messenger of God. Just how am I going to live? How am I going to be practically survive? Yeah? And this is what was holding me back. Nothing else. Nothing you couldn't convince me. You couldn't explain any more to me. I believed. But I didn't accept it because I had these problems. And this is the same problem my mum's having. She's living with an atheist guy. She's thinking, well, if I did become a Muslim, what am I going to do? I love my little Chihuahua dog. What am I going to do? This is all I live, you know. She's 72 now or something. 73, I think. How's she going to survive? So remember this, and there's more than one thing holding someone back from accepting Islam as true. It's not necessarily they don't believe it's true, it's just having the capabilities to go through with it. Now we've had people accept Islam in the park, watching the videos, and then they leave Islam. Why? Because when they accepted Islam, they weren't prepared for it, and they didn't make any action. They thought it was all going to come on their plate. But when life comes a little bit rough, they leave Islam. Now when you speak to these people, they either have to become raving Islamophobes or lie to themselves. Because how else are they going to justify it? Because once you're intellectually convinced it's true, and you accept it as true, how can you just walk away from it? And when you see the people who walk away from it, they're the ones who have not embraced it. They've done it half-assed. Yeah? They've not really prayed. And they've not split with their girlfriends and stuff, and they've still carried on doing it. And they've not told people around them, and you're like, well, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So again, going back to your mum, and my mum is close to Islam, I believe. But she's just thinking, what would I do? Now I'm thinking, could I really ship her down from Shetland Isle to London and support her and this and that and take care of her every day? I'd love to. I'm not in a position to do so. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, do I have to make a husband Muslim first or what? I don't know. Because he's an atheist. And I've said this to my mum, because her husband is young. He's 46, or my age, a bit older than me. And I said, this guy is fantastic for your body and your living, taking care of you. But he is a devastating influence on your mind and on your soul. Yeah? Because he's not into intellectual talking and such. Yeah? He's not interested in anything like that. He doesn't want to know what's going on in the world. And I said, he's destroyed. But for your well-being, he's fantastic. And that's the problem I have with my mum. So remember, there's more than one reason why. Your mum's probably still hurt that you turn your back on Catholicism. So maybe what would be an idea is to tell her why you turn your back on Catholicism. Why you can't accept it to be true. And then ask her, well, I don't accept this to be true. Why do you accept it to be true? What am I missing? Tell me, maybe I've got it wrong. But I'm going to say this one last thing to you. No, explain why you're a Muslim. Just say to her, Mum, why do you think I've become a Muslim? Why did you become Muslim?
Why? Because I accepted the truth. I mean, because I was studying and reading and watching videos as well.
Alhamdulillah.
So the more I learn, I like the fact that even reading the Quran, it seems like that God is talking to you.
Allahu Akbar. Well, it is God who wants to. Right. So what you need to...
And the fact that in Islam, I mean, there are proofs. It's not like what I felt. It's not like Christianity, that you need to believe in a blind faith. In Islam, there are proofs, scientific proofs, what is written in the Quran as well. It's supported by the science sometimes.
No, we don't say that.
I'll tell
you why we say that. There's no absolutes in science. So if you say the Quran matches something in science, and then that science changes, then that makes the Quran incompatible with science again now. Do you understand? Science is just a methodology of understanding things. We never ever claim that the Quran is a book of science.
No, absolutely.
But there are things that we can question. How could whoever authored this book have this kind of mindset to know these certain things? That's different again. But I wouldn't say proof.
How can a man accept it?
Yeah, but I wouldn't say proof, personally, because I don't think we can prove anything. And Allah calls us believers. Oh, you who believe. We're believers. We believe Islam is true. We believe Muhammad ﷺ existed and what he did without seeing him. We believe Allah exists without seeing him. We're believers. But the reason the Quran is the reason why we believe. Yeah. Now, the way you should approach your mum They say, look, Mum, I know you're upset I've become a Muslim, but here's why I'm not a Catholic anymore. Here's why I don't believe Catholicism is true, why I don't believe it. Forget what you believe. You can believe what you don't want to. But here's why I believe what I believe. And let her hear that. And then something you say might resonate with her. She might think, well, you know, I've been thinking that as well, actually, but I've just, you know, the priest says just have faith or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, the problem Catholicism has is that non-Catholic Christians say you're not Christians. According to most Christians in this park, they say Catholics are not Christians. So even within Christianity, Catholics are not accepted as Christians. So if you're not rejected by your own Christians, then there's something to question who's got it right here. Because that tells you there's two versions of Christianity. So the first question is which version is supposed to be right? And when you get boiled down to that one, now let's test that one now. Yeah? But like I said to you, final advice. Be kind to your mum. Do extra things for your mum. Do things your mum would never expect you to do for her. Yeah? Surprise her with a visit, surprise her with a gift, take her out for a meal. Just surprise her, just do something out of the normal that you wouldn't normally do.